Good afternoon, everybody. It's Sean here again from the Trusted Business Community Association, and this time I'm joined by Leon Gicquel from UK Cyber Security Group. Now, Leon is a premier partner here at the association and comes to us and to you guys who are listening in with an immense amount of opportunity to protect yourself, especially when you're online or you're surfing online. Many people know that there's been an upturn through just reading the news. There's been an upturn in things like hacking going on and identity theft going on, and we're going to be talking about, obviously with Leon, about these issues that many people don't realise whether or not they're protected or not. Some may be partly protected, some may be fully protected, some may fall way short of that protection level online. Good afternoon, Leon. Nice to have you with me, mate.
Oh, absolute pleasure.
So, obviously, UK Cyber Security Group covers an awful lot. Perhaps you could give us a little bit of a lowdown on what it is that you offer to the small to medium-sized enterprises and those big corporate companies in the way of protection.
Yeah, well, we protect two main areas really. So we will protect you against the malicious hackers that are out there to steal your data, but then also we will protect you against the fines from the ICO, the regulatory fines that the ICO can dish out. And obviously, if your data gets stolen by a hacker and it's encrypted and they want money to get it back to you, then it can be in tens of millions. For example, it was Garmin, the GPS company. They had all their data encrypted and they were charged $10 million to have their data back. And they only got 80% of it. The rest was lost forever. And as you know, the ICO, if you have a data breach, you are responsible as a company to protect your data. If you fail to take measures to protect your data, the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office, can fine you up to £17.5 million or 4% of your global turnover, whichever is higher. And recently, it's been in the media that Interserve, they had a hack at one point and they were charged £4.4 million because they failed to do anything to protect the data. At the same time, within sort of a month period, a company called BAM Construction, they also got hacked. However, they had stuff in place to protect their data, so they were not fined at all. So
interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I mean, don't get me wrong. This goes to show the impact on business financially if you haven't got it right, and if you have, what the impact is lessened because you've done the right things. What are the three key areas, or more if there are, but what's the 3 or 4 key areas where a small business owner or a medium or a large business owner should be looking at and focusing on?
Yeah, primarily to start with, immediately what you want to be doing is getting Cyber Essentials certification. This is a certification from the National Cyber Security Centre, which they've dictated that to protect your business, you want these key controls. They are technical controls for your network to make sure that it's set up correctly. Some people are thinking, oh, I don't know anything about this. So we're here to help. We can guide you through the entire process. So by the end of it, you don't know what's going on, but you've passed. You are then protected. It's a yearly thing as well, so we will revisit it every year to make sure those controls are still in place. Yeah, after that, we look at continuous monitoring, so that we've got a product where we plug the sensor into your network, and it then does a vulnerability scan continuously. It goes from one endpoint to the next, to make sure that there are no known vulnerabilities. It also has a DNS server DNS filter on it as well, which if you get an email, a phishing email that's got a malicious link on it, you can't click on the link. It won't let you. So it prevents all of that, which is one of the major They reckon it's like 85% of all malicious attacks start with an email. Um, it's got things like a VPN if you're away and things like that, so you can dial in. And also we're looking at insurance as well. Cyber Essentials comes with £25,000 worth of free cyber indemnity insurance, which if you're a small company or a micro company, one man band to a micro company up to 10 employees, that should be fine for you. However, as soon as you go above that, purely for the cost of having a digital forensic examination of your network, £25,000 won't be enough. So you'll need to top that up. So yeah, we partner with a company called Prism Solutions, which know their stuff when it comes to the cyber world. So yeah, they're the only ones we found out who actually really understand what they're on about in the cyber world. So yeah, to top up the insurance, and it's not expensive either. An average ballpark quotes around £200 to £500, depending on what size your company is.
And of course, Prism Solutions are accredited members here at the association as well, and that was mainly down to you guys pointing them in our direction and saying, look, this is what we're part of. We're working closely with the Trusted Business Community Association. I was looking for a company that could understand all elements of business insurance and to include and importantly the cyber security insurance. And of course, we've since joined forces as well with them. And as I say, they come with the accreditation, as you do, as a premier partner here at the association. So, Leon, obviously, there's an awful lot for people to think about. There's probably a lot of people thinking, am I covered? Have I got everything that I need to have in place? And I can understand that. I think this is fairly common knowledge. I didn't know is not an excuse and not something that you can, I didn't know I had to do that. But wherever we're holding someone's data, we have to be very, very careful with it. And it seems to me that, those three main steps that you've mentioned there, with obviously the continuous monitoring being the middle bit and the insurance being the back end, and of course getting the accredited standard right at the front there, is a really important sort of step to take when you're obviously running a business. I mean, obviously, the fines that you mentioned, obviously they run very in line with GDPR, obviously, because that's what and they've been around for a long time, and those big fines have always been there. The thing that I'm conscious of, and I'm just wondering whether or not people have this sort of perception of, as a small or micro business owner, I'm sure that you'll confirm this. They're just as obviously responsible for how they work, but equally they are just as open to being fined as maybe someone bigger and larger, like you mentioned, who's been fined a fair few £1 million.
Yeah, if you have any customer or employee data at all, the directors are duty bound to look after it. And if you take no precautions at all in looking after this data, the ICO has turned around and said you will be fined. No matter how big or small you are, it's going to happen. So the best bet is, the thing is, just doing Cyber Essentials is a couple £100. Continuous monitoring, a couple £100 to set up and £100 a month, and then a couple £100 for the insurance. That's enough to not receive a fine. So it's a few £100 here, millions of pounds here. It's fairly obvious what you need to do, really.
It's obviously a no-brainer, as they say. It's and of course, even though a small business may do some checks to see whether or not they do sort of have to, obviously adhere to become an ICO, and obviously get the ICO numbers behind them, and making sure that they are rubber stamped through the ISO. I know that you can go online and you can do sort of certain checks to see, do you fall into that category or not. Would you be of the opinion that even if you don't feel you are, it's possible that you should even just pay out, because it's not much, is it, to get the ICO like rubber stamping from them? It's about 40 odd quid, isn't it, a year?
Yeah, yeah. I think if you pay by direct debit, it's £35 a year. Um, so it's nothing really. But yeah, if you're unsure of whether you should, then you can call them, and they'll let you know. And if you aren't registered but you should be, there's a fine involved, surprisingly. So yeah, it's, if in doubt, give them a shout. Um, and then also, if you're unsure of what you need to do to get yourself protected afterwards, give me a shout. I'll gladly go through anything with anybody to see what they require to conform to the standards.
Well, talking about obviously getting hold of you, of course, we'll come to that in a very short while. But on our YouTube channel, which is where this interview will feature, we've actually got the training session that you did on our YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to, kick back for a couple of hours, because it was a long training session, but a really informative one. And if you can do it in bite-sized chunks, obviously, you don't have to listen to it all in one go. But if you do have a half hour spare here and there throughout the week, and you just want to get to understand what the course is all about and how to get that passed and get the rubber stamping, you go through everything, don't you, in that
Question by
that
question
training
to
course?
make sure that people know exactly what they need to do to pass the certification. Because all you need to do is make sure that you conform. Once you do, then it's a done deal, really. So yeah, we went through everything to make sure that if there's any doubt, still give me a shout. But yeah, listen to the training course, and you should be able to pass it without any issues.
Yeah, brilliant. So, if people are looking out to obviously get hold of you, where do they find you, Leon?
Well, the website's www.ukcybersecurity.co.uk. There's if you go /about, then that's a little bit about the company. /contact, then that'll get you to my calendar link where you can book an appointment. But then all the services are listed within the site. Yeah,
And of course, not only that, you are on LinkedIn,
absolutely. Yeah,
of course, and you're in our directory, in the
yeah,
Trusted Business Community directory, where you can find Leon at www.trustedbusinesscommunity.com. And as I say, you'll see the interactive directory where you can reach out to Leon through there. And of course, being a premier partner here, you're not only supporting the members of the association with any inquiries and queries, you're supporting the whole community, aren't you? Question for you before we wrap it up. A few people will be listening to this from foreign shores. How far does your cover go? Can you help businesses outside of the UK?
absolutely. I've just done one for a company in Spain. Um, I've done numerous around the world. It doesn't matter where you are. It's just a matter of making sure that your network conforms to the standard for Cyber Essentials. The only thing, the caveat with that is because you're not a UK domiciled company, you won't get the free insurance.
Fair enough. You'd have to obviously search and source that yourself from
Yeah,
if you're coming in from outside of the UK. This has been brilliant and so informative, Leon. As always, it's always a pleasure to see you, and always a pleasure
absolute
to
pleasure.
take some time out and have a chat and find out more about what's going on. For anybody who has listened in and is just, even if you're just not quite 100% sure, if you are 100% sure you've got it all covered, fine, brilliant, well done. If there's just 1% doubt, Leon will gladly take a call from you, gladly take an email from you, and gladly meet up with you, so that he can just confirm and rubber stamp that you are most definitely covered and you're fully protected when it comes to your business and keeping your data safe. Till the next time, everyone, thanks ever so much for joining me, Leon. Great to see you, my friend, and I look forward to obviously hearing more about how you're helping businesses over the months to come.
Yeah, excellent.
Take care, mate.
Cheers. See ya.